good morning. We're live.
And we're actually like prepared.
We are.
It's a scary thought.
It is. It's a kind of a scary thought. The whole thing about this is a little bit scary. So
this is a project.
it is. It's a kind of a big undertaking.
It's a big one, yes. Good morning, Gail.
Hi, Dee.
And Dee.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to do in 2 hours.
We do. We do.
Hopefully we can make that happen. We might cheat a little bit later on.
Yes.
So we are going to, hey Sharon, we're going to get started though.
Yeah.
No yakking.
No yakking. No, we'll have yakking time.
We'll
in
have
between.
yakking while there's stitching going on. But
Right.
if we don't start like immediately, we'll never make it.
No. So we are going to start first with the quilting.
Yes.
And we're going to switch cameras so that Lisa can show you how you are going to mark. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what we did that was a little bit different than what was in the original instructions. We didn't
follow them completely.
Right.
That would be too strange, right?
It would be totally strange. I was so, and then all of a sudden I have the thread stand is in my face, so. Yeah.
All right.
Use the other one. Okay, so switching cameras. It helps when you have the right button.
Button. Who's got the button?
Yes, here we go. Up a little bit if you can. There you go. Perfect.
I can actually
see?
kind of see that here. So let's try that. All right. So this is our folio, and I do have directions here, but why follow them? So marking this is kind of the name of the game. So knowing what section we're going to do what to is part of the confusion, because there's more going on than we normally would have in one piece. So we've got the angled piece that's going to be referred to quite often. They'll say, that's going to be to your left or something like that in the directions. They do label these A, B, C, D, E. So if you're going to do that, we've got an inside and an outside. So we have A, and I have a water-soluble piece here, and then we have B, and I don't know if you guys can even see that I'm marking that. We have C in the center. Blue is better than pink, but it's very, very light, unfortunately. I don't know if you can see that on camera much. And then E on that angled guy. And then this is the outside. So I'm also going to write out here.
Do you want to see if the pink works better?
The problem with the pink is it's going to disappear here momentarily because that one's an air.
But I mean, maybe just so they could see, not any better. So,
okay.
If you're,
nice try.
Yeah, it was a try.
I can see it, but
yes.
Unfortunately, I know it's difficult for you guys. The main thing is that as you're working, you can see it so that you are doing whatever to the correct area.
That's right.
That's the main thing. So then we're going to flip that over. And I have now pieces everywhere.
You could also use just a little piece of your Kimberbell tape with a letter on it.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, yeah, and just remove that before you stitch over it.
If you have an air-soluble one that disappears on you.
So now I'm going backwards. So E, D, C, B, and A. And then, of course, we're going to write in because this is the inside of our folio. So, again, this is just because they are going to be referring to do this on panel B or so on and so forth. Once we have that marked, we are going to take that awesome clear blue tile piece. It's going to have little pieces inside there you're going to need to pop out because we're going to draw right through those.
Don't lock it.
So, yes, please don't.
Then Hayden won't get in.
Go ahead and pop out those plastic pieces. There is absolutely no reason to keep those little innard pieces because you will never need those. So those are going to be just trash. So the inside of the folio has a little flip pocket that is going to be the last piece that we actually work on. But in the instructions, it tells you to mark this little guy here. And it tells you to come in 1/4 inch. And the reason that it tells you that is because down here, it's 1/4 inch in. So nice little trick if you don't have a easy measuring tool is to use that as your measuring tool. So if you line up the edge of your clear blue tile with that fold and also line it up at the top, you are in the right position. And once you have that in the right position, you're going to draw in the lines. So back in kindergarten when we learned to color in the lines, we're going to use that same technique. Color in the lines.
Who knew those?
Who knew coloring was going to be a skill that we needed in adulthood?
Right.
I love to color, so this is like totally my thing. All right, and very important for those of us who have some sort of a drop, make sure you get that center dot. That center dot is going to be your savior. And if you can't see it, get something else that you can see. All right, so we are going to repeat this all 4 sides or all 4 sections. So again, flip up that pocket, line it up with the top so you can see that it's literally right on that top edge, and we're going to line that up with we are in a haunted house with very squeaky, creepy doors. All right, so I've got that lined up here and lined up here, so I'm going to hold that in position, and again, I'm going to color in those. And I'm going to do this 4 times. So in your instructions, you get to hoop 4 times and use this as your centering position. Now, I will tell you how to do this according to Kimberbell's instructions, but I'm sure you guys all know by now we didn't do it that way.
What? We didn't follow the instructions?
I know. If you could see our faces, we're like the Home Alone faces, like, ah! Right? We didn't do it that way. All right, so I'm going to move this up so you guys can see. So now I am literally using the bottom portion here, and I've got that lined up right on that bottom corner, and I'm going to do it again. All right, so we've got all 3 now done. I'm trying to color outside of the lines now.
It's hard. Rinse and repeat is so hard.
Yeah. But you guys can actually see those crosshairs at least a little bit. I'm pushing really hard. I'm killing my pen here.
Yeah. I can actually see them on the camera.
Gonna need to buy a new pen after this. So really cool. This is actually a sampling of a new product. Did you get that far?
I did. So the tiles that she is using are Kimberbell's newest product coming out. So I believe the end of September-ish is when they're coming out. But many of you guys have watched some of our videos, and you know that we have like a ton of quilting options built into the Brother and the Baby Lock machines. But if you don't have a machine that has all of those fun features in them, this is a quilting program. And so these tiles are going to come in all of the different hoop sizes. And there are, I think, 300 quilting designs that are on a USB stick with these tiles. And then, of course, Kimberbell instructions on how to actually do this. And so I think that is $129.99. It is up for pre-order on our website. And then there is an addendum or an add-on to it, which gives you, it's like $29.99, and that gets you hoop sizes,
the larger hoop sizes,
the 6x10 hoop. So the first one is going to have like 4x4, 5x7, and 6x10, and then there's like 8x12, 9.5x14 in the add-on.
So you can see that I have now 4 crosshairs, and that was just by using those and placing this. So if you were actually doing this in a quilt, you would pick and you had that set, you would pick the tile that fit the quilt square size.
Yep.
And then you would draw that center crosshair by placing that in whatever quilt square size that you have, and that's how you would find the center. Then you would pull up the embroidery design, and boom, it fits perfectly inside of your quilt square.
Right. It's Kimberbell magic.
It's Kimberbell magic. So if we were doing this Kimberbell style and actually following the directions, we would then turn this and fold on those lines, all right? And you would draw right on your stabilizer. I lost something. I don't know what it was.
Okay.
I think it was just my CD or my USB case, but not important. So you're going to literally fold on that line, all right? And you're going to use the line on your stabilizer to line that up, and then using that sticky stabilizer, press it onto the stabilizer.
Yes.
So it's not stitching anything on the stabilizer. It is drawing on the stabilizer with your water-soluble pen. So there's no 4-point crosshair that we're stitching on this. This is literally taking that water-soluble pen and a ruler and using the marks on your hoop, drawing the crosshair, and then lining up this crosshair by bending it, lining that up, flip your hoop over, check and make sure that you're where you're supposed to be, and then put that in the hoop. So that's how Kimberbell is recommending that you center these crosshairs.
Yes.
Now we're going to show you the SnL way.
Yes.
Because, of course,
we can't
follow directions. Okay, I'm going to switch back over here. Follow my, try not to choke myself on my cord today.
It won't be my fault today.
It won't be your fault today. Did we bring tape over here?
No.
I put it over here, I think.
You can, is it easier to pull it out of my box? We were getting pretty low.
We were getting low, maybe. Yep, it's right there, so I'm going to do that.
I tape dispensers in there too if you want it. So we are going to pull out some Kimberbell tape. We have our
magnetic
hoop. We have the 10 5/8 by 16-inch magnetic hoop in here right now.
You don't actually need it quite that big.
No, but that was just the one that we happen to have open. And we have, you may have heard Lisa and I talk about Badge Master a time or two, but we have Badge Master water-soluble stabilizer in here. So it isn't a sticky stabilizer. And what Lisa is doing, and you will see in just a moment, is she is taping the bottom edges of this down to the Badge Master stabilizer. And the main reason that we are doing this is because we wanted to have the ability to not need to like just dunk this piece of material in water to get out all of the sticky. We are going to use some sticky stabilizer at some point in this process, but it just isn't going to be right this second. And so she's just clipping around here.
I'm just getting that elastic clipped in place because it likes to float around.
It does.
And I don't want to stitch that in because I've already got mine done. So I'm not going to screw Sarah's up. So we've got a lot of add-on people since I was on here. So hello to everyone who's joined us. So what we've got now is those crosshairs that are here, and we've taped it on here. So this is also a little bit more of an affordable stabilizer. Sticky Wash Away is the most expensive stabilizer on the market.
Definitely.
So as much as it is super easy to use, we can't all afford to use it for 5 hoopings for one project.
Right.
So this is another option if that is a concern for you, because we certainly understand that you know, you've already put up $100 for this box, and so now we've got
and a lot of you put in money for our stabilizer bundle, so we knew you had this.
So correct. So we wanted to show you some options of other ways that you could actually finish these projects if you didn't have in your repertoire of goodies and maybe couldn't afford at this time to buy that $50 roll of stabilizer. So,
or maybe it's not at your local shop.
Right.
So it's certainly been one of those hard stabilizers to keep in stock.
She's not wrong there.
So you know, you might have it and you want it, but you can't get it.
Exactly. So, all right, I'm going to try to stop talking Italian, and
it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I do that. So we're going to show you how to line that up. I'm going to fling towards Sarah instead of fling towards the camera. We're working with some new camera setup, which is really, really great, except we're not used to it.
Right, we don't know where anything is at yet.
We're still getting used to the technical parts of all of that.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have this done in one hooping, but that doesn't mean we're going to stitch it all in one set.
Yep.
So super easy. We're going to align the pattern, which she has pulled up. So there's one quilting pattern, and we're going to align that with each different crosshair that we have. It doesn't really matter where we start, but we can go anywhere. So let's just go ahead and move to that top left corner just for the kicks and giggles. So she has touched the W foot icon on our screen, which drops a crosshair on our system here. So we actually can see exactly where center is for our design. So we have a super easy cheat. But for those of you who don't have that and want to use a multi-hooping system for that, you all have, if you have a brother or baby lock machine, you all have positioning points at the bottom of your screen. So you can do that and find center and position and make sure that you are right where you need to be by pushing that. It looks like a needle with a box around it. It's got a little plus sign underneath the needle. So by using that, it will put you right where the center of that design is, and then you get a box with 9 points, and you can check that. So you can check the top of the design, you can move up and down. So where I have a actual T crosshair here, and I know it's really, really hard to see. You can't see that on film, and I apologize, but it's a really nice T. So I get not only, and I am going to do this, it literally looks like this, where with just the needle, you of course just have a drop point. But what you can do is you can move that up and down and right and left. So you can make sure that you're not crooked, so on and so forth. You can make sure that you are right on the money with using your needle as the positioning point. Does that make sense?
It does. And if you have the fancy machine like we're sitting in front of, you also have your projector.
Yep.
And you also have the camera feature. So for all of our Dream, Destiny, the app feature for the Stellaires, the Meridians, the Altairs. So you guys could take a picture of what you have in here, and you could actually duplicate your design 4 times and set them over top of your actual crosshair marks and do this in one fell
swoop if you would like. This just from a teaching perspective, this made more sense for me, but you absolutely can do that. It's very, very simple either way. If you have a camera, it's certainly very simple to do it that way. If you don't and you just have a positioning mark, this is the way that I would do that. Whether you have a drop light, which anything from a 62, a 52, a 2300, all of those have that drop light, which is just a light. It's not a T.
So if their foot plugs in.
If their foot plugs in, that's absolutely correct. You have a red drop light. The Stellaires and the Luminaire have a choice of a drop light or a drop crosshair. So you can pick which one you would like. I love the crosshair. So we need to align that a little bit.
Yeah, I was just going to see if they could see the
dot?
Well, I was going to pull the projector up just to see if they could see. You don't see the crosshair with this, but I wondered if that would show. So it's a little blurry on there, but you can definitely see
color and see if you can see the stitches a little bit more right there.
Yeah.
So those are the stitch marks that you can see with the projector. So what the camera would do, of course, is take those crosshairs and put them on screen so that you could line those up.
Yeah, but you can definitely see that you're not in your seam line over the side here, and then of course you could use that projector each time you do your 4 quadrants.
And make sure that you're not overlapping and so on and so forth.
So you're right though, we are not exactly where we want to be.
Nope.
So
let's, and with not being stuck, I am pushing down here just to make sure that we're actually where we want to be. Here to the right. I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
All right, so note you can't see it. We have a matching bobbin thread in, so we are stitching with kind of a dark teal. This is an exquisite thread, and I have run a full bobbin because I didn't run a full bobbin on mine, and I ran out midway through the 4th piece, of course. So I ran a full one for this time around. So
we are using color number E as in Edward, S as in Sarah. 688.
Okay, well, if you're going to go there, then it's E as in Emerson.
Emerson Sarah.
Emerson Sarah. There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stitch that first embroidery design. And I just have that taped, so if I get close to the tape, I'm going to stop because I don't want it to stitch through that. It's pretty easy to remove Kimberbell tape from stitching. However, I don't like to remove it from quilting stitches because they're a single layer and I don't want to accidentally pull something out. It's much easier to remove said tape.
It is. It is, absolutely.
So when we get up there, we can just rip that little puppy off.
We can.
That's why I did it that way.
Yep. And the quilting is going to start adhering it to the stabilizer,
yep.
So you don't have to worry about it starting to move. And this is a really stable material. I thought that this was a wool blend, but it is a poly cotton blend. There is no wool in it, so there's a lot of people that have wool allergies.
I do.
So no one should have any issues with this whatsoever.
Yep. I was concerned when I was like,
I wonder,
but,
yeah, no.
Yep.
And Kimberbell confirmed that, so it's not just me saying it. It came from the horse's mouth.
Horses. I'm going to squeeze through. Sorry, okay. I got to get my drink. Sarah was kind enough to get it for me, but she put it way over there.
I wasn't sure where to put it. I can put it over here if you want. Think it'll be okay over there?
You think that's safe?
I don't know. The table started rocking a little bit, so it made me unsure.
I'll do the floor.
Okay.
And I'll probably knock it over with my foot.
Yes, you can watch this from the beginning over on YouTube. You have to wait until it ends in order to go back to the beginning, though, just as an FYI. Because it's live, you can't go back.
Yep.
So. Cute design.
It is. So it's my understanding this one is exclusive. So even if you get that clear tiles bundle, this will not be in there. And I'll flip that down a little bit so you guys can see what's happening a little better. So this one is exclusive to the Bella box.
We need one of those camera stands that goes up over us and sits here.
Yes. All right, number one's done, easy peasy. All we have to do now is turn that on and literally drag, oops, we gotta get out of that. Drag that over and line that up a couple. And
good.
I think we're good. And rock and roll. It's literally that easy. So once you are centered this way, if you just shift right, you shouldn't have to move up and down. So for those of you who are not fortunate enough to have that laser type thing going on, once you get the north-south, you're literally just shifting east and west.
And then you should just be able to drop down.
Yep, and then for the next one, you could come down to the lower right and just be moving north and south and then shift again. So it should be pretty easy to maneuver those lining up. I wasn't that smart when I did it. I was literally just bouncing all over the place and just dragging them. But yeah, that makes perfect sense. Uh-huh. Hayden's here. The party can start.
Kind of boring just watching it stitch, isn't it? That was when you were talking about the letters. Lisa's is done if you want to see it.
It's right here. I dropped something. I think it was just my CD case, but okay. I didn't sew it together, obviously. I haven't rinsed anything yet.
I saw someone on Facebook talking about using cork, which would be fun. Yeah, we have some new cork.
We do have some new cork.
Yeah, that might be fun.
And of course, the edges of that would not be an issue.
Right? They would not. I'm not sure why we didn't think about that.
I'm not really sure either.
I wonder if we put the belt on the inside of the cork, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
It did come. I opened the.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you?
I didn't.
It wasn't open.
No.
It feels a little more like this, but a little bit thinner. So. Marilyn asked, yes, we did use the tile from Kimberbell, and you can rewatch this part from the beginning, so it is on there. But now we are going to just shoot this down. I'm going to turn that light on again and move it down. Whoops, got a little...
We need to go a little bit to the right. We must not be in there perfectly straight.
Look good?
I think so.
All right, let's rock and roll.
So I've moved the tape out of the way, so I'm just holding that until it gets started a little bit there.
It doesn't take long for it to sort of catch onto the stabilizer.
But it does get pretty into the edges.
Yeah.
So, yep.
I think that's one of the other really great bonuses about these feet that kind of hover for us. There's nothing, there's no
it's
drag.
Not getting caught.
No, it does such a nice job. We are almost 3/4 of the way done with the first tubing.
So did you bring your instructions over here?
Nope.
No. Okay. I did.
You did, yeah.
But I didn't open them.
The next thing that we're going to do after we're done doing this part live, we are going to show the next step, which would be the cover, the main cover piece. We did a little video on that one because there's a lot of trimming involved, and we didn't want you guys to all just sit here and watch us trim this tediously live. So Lisa was gracious enough to do hers at home last night, and she did all of the trimming work and edited a video for you guys. So we will play that next. It's pretty quick, and then we will actually do another embroidery live that has one or two appliques on it?
It's the front cover just has the two. It's the inside cover.
Yeah. So we'll do the one that has just a couple of pieces of trimming live, and then it won't be so.
It'll help with us getting done in 2 hours.
That's right. So you won't. I mean, it's not really super exciting to watch us stitch. I know, and sometimes we don't even have anything fun to talk about. It's early still.
Yeah.
And Lisa was up late working on our projects and
other
things.
Really, really fun things. Not what I wanted to be doing.
No.
Unfortunately. If I was going to be up that late, I would have rather been playing with that box that got shipped to my house yesterday.
Right.
But oh well. That's okay. All right.
So I'm turning the W on again, and I'm moving it over.
Last one.
Oh.
That one's lining up nice and straight.
Come on.
It's got a lead finger.
Right? I'm trying not to. Is that good?
Nope. Another one. One more. I think you're good.
Okay.
It moved out of my finger. likes to get caught back there.
Okay.
Right up on that edge. Makes me nervous.
Does it? It'll be okay.
Not used to going right up on the edges and stuff like that.
I know.
Usually you don't have that so close to the edges.
You don't live that dangerously?
Well,
you live different
sure.
dangerously. You've got your hands in there. Some people freak out about that.
Yeah, see, I just, like you said, different kind of dangerous.
Oh.
All right. I think we're back in the safety zone.
I think
Mine
so.
popped. It was like stuck back there. And I was like, don't shift it. So what we're talking about is the fold back here. When it's moving all the way back there, mine kind of got stuck behind the body of the machine. So I was just holding it so that this one didn't. It's in there pretty good, but
Yeah.
mine made a nice little plunking noise when that happened. So just keep an eye on that as it's stitching so that it's not stuck behind the body of the machine.
Absolutely. You don't want to go through all of this work and then have it
Pop out.
Pop out.
Nope. No fun, no fun.
Even with the best tools, it's still no fun.
Mm-mm.
You have to say lots of creative words.
Yes, I edited out some of Caitlin's creative words. The dogs were very loud last night, and Caitlin does not like that. She wanted to watch a movie last night, and I'm like, if I get this done, no.
No.
Maybe tonight.
Yeah.
It's like, All right, here we go. And done.
Done.
Dishes are done,
Right?
dude. That's a great movie. They don't make movies like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure anymore.
No. But didn't they make a new one?
I feel like they did.
I think it's on HBO or something.
All right. So
Okay.
I am going to go ahead and
I gotta
take
switch
this
over.
out.
All right, so what we are going to do is we're going to just pull this out of the hoop. Do you want to...
I forgot to take that tape off. Oh,
It's
that'll
all
come
good.
out easy.
Yeah. Show the big hoop underneath the big screen just so they can see
I can do
a
that.
better picture of what we did. And I will switch that over.
This is your tape up there.
Okay.
All right. So here is our 10.5 by 16 inch hoop, and you can see there's plenty of room all the way around there. So this would work in a smaller field.
Probably 8 by 12 would just be in.
So the width is 3.5 basically. So yes, 8 by
you'd be
6.5 tall though.
Yeah, they'd probably have to smush them up a little bit. So you would have to butt the designs up a little bit closer to each other,
Yeah.
which you could do.
But definitely the 9.5 by 14. So, but you can see very, very easily how those fit in one hooping, and definitely in the 9.5 by 14. And you could definitely do two, and then two. So
Yeah.
shrink down the number of times that you're hooping.
Right.
And then with the magnetic hoops, they like to stick together
They do, and
when
there's
they
not
don't
a lot
have
of
anything
stabilizer in there.
in between them.
So don't get your fingers caught.
So this is basically what that looks like on the back now. So beautiful stitching, and all we have to do is cut around there and then rinse, and that will come right off too. So just it is still a wash away, so no difference on that. But we'll just trim away that excess, and then we can move on to the next project. So are we just going to video the next one for now?
Let's show. So grab your planner over there.
Yep.
So the next thing that we're gonna stitch
So here's
live.
just so that you guys can.
Yeah.
This is I've trimmed some of it, and of course I've
Yeah, it's a
finished
little easier
it.
to see on there.
So you can see I've trimmed off quite a bit of that, but not all of it. I'm that was like in between other things. So this is the section that we're going to do next. So you can see there's a lot of little trimming applique. This is all raw edge applique, which makes it even a little bit harder because you have to be a lot more careful with what you're doing. It's not like, oh, that satin stitch is going to cover that up. So it's definitely very fussy trimming. I definitely used both my favorite, which is the 6-inch double curves, and I had a pair of snips because there's a lot of little tiny bits that you're going to need to get into if you want those petals to show. Otherwise, it just looks like a circle. So you're going to definitely want some snips in there as well. And then there are some embroidered flowers that go around there. So this actual stitch time really wasn't that much because, of course, applique stitching doesn't show very much, but the time definitely was there. So
we are going to get ready to do the dream plan and do. That is the next part that we're going to actually stitch out live. So
we'll show you that video while we're getting that set up.
Yeah, flip around to the one so they can see what we're doing.
So this is what we will be stitching live.
That's right. We're going to prep that. And what are we going to use for that?
So we are going to use the sticky wash away in your hoop. So that is the stabilizer that you'll need. You need the strip of Mylar, and you need a piece of the, oop, I just threw your Mylar away. And you need the cut piece. If you printed out that cut,
the cut list.
The cut list. This is just a looks like 2 by 3 inch piece of the gold, and then you have just a couple pieces of fabric, 2 by 2 in I think a little bit bigger of your for your flowers. And then, of course, you need some thread.
Yes. And so the one that Lisa's going to do in the video here, we're using heavyweight tearaway. Is that correct?
I did. So the reason being is for no reason other than, again, trying to show some different things that you could make work if you didn't have what was called for in the instructions. This is going to be completely covered up, as you see. So the tearaway, I can keep picking at it if I want to. But this is going to be sewn here and here and then there's going to be that notebook tucked in here. So you're not going to see that, which was kind of my thought process behind that if I didn't have what I needed, this would work. And it stitched, of course, very beautifully. It's a pretty stable product anyways, but that tearaway certainly supported what I needed for those letters and things. So, I just was, again, trying to show some other options if you needed them. So that is what I used. The setup for this is using just that water-soluble pen and a ruler. I found the center here and then centered in my hoop as well. So found the center of the design and then I taped that to my hoop. I did add a basting stitch because this is bigger than my hoop, and I used a 5x7 hoop. So you will see that in the video in just a sec.
Okay, so we are going to pop up that video right now, and while we get prepped for the next design over here.
All right. Pink.
Didn't work.
What?
It didn't work. Hold on, guys.
Why does this always happen?
Yeah.
It worked when we tested it before we started.
It did.
So it won't play?
No. There we go. Wrong picture again. Right picture. Okay.
That's
sorry,
that one.
guys. Let's start that once more. There we go. It was this big.
That big?
Yes.
Aha. So you've got different color fabrics. So I'm trying to figure out did you change any of these?
I don't think so. I think the only thing that I'll change would be maybe this flower.
So we need that. I need your Mylar out of the trash.
Okay, probably here.
And then I know that was the 2x2 there. And then did you change that, or am I missing some fabric? Oh, Jesus.
You find it?
I mean, there's this one, but that doesn't, I think I need the dark one here, don't I? Put that back in your box before we lose it. Did you get your zipper out? Okay, it's right there. I see the box, so that's fine.
Where the heck did the fabric go?
I mean,
Video's still playing, right?
mhm. Did it go that way? Okay, well, we're not doing this one, so do you want me to just use this piece?
Yes, that's fine.
And then shit, you can have mine, I don't care. I've got extras. I just, I haven't even started the applique yet.
Okay.
I think it's like 10 minutes.
It should be here somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, I have no idea. Did it fall in here? That drawer was open originally.
It's fine. The video's in, but there's no sound.
Awesome. She's the only one that said that? No sound. Now we got another one. What if we unplug the microphones? Does that do anything?
Maybe that would allow it to
back there, is there a right one and a wrong one?
As far as I know, there's only one. So let me go back there and check.
I mean, I plugged it back in. Oh, it's back, but really low. I wonder if it's all of...
Yeah, it's storming like crazy here. So, can you guys hear us now? Showing up here. Oh, this is super fun. How about now? Can anybody hear us yet? No? That makes
What about
absolutely
over there?
no sense.
Isn't that muted?
I got the monitor up on like 90.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yes?
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
We'll go with that.
We're going to go with that.
Okay.
No mic.
All right. So, sorry about that.
I'm so sorry.
We have zero idea what just happened, but we're going to keep moving along.
Okay.
So,
I am sorry about the video. We will post that on the channel. I actually have videos of everything except for one. So if anything else, we can post all of those. So if there's any glitch with this video as well, this one, of course, we'll post, and we can post that one and the others afterwards. So if there's any issues, they will be there. So I do apologize. It is storming super hard here, so it might have something to do with that. Maybe our connection got wonky or so.
yeah.
Anyway, apologies. Let's keep moving.
Okay.
And we're going to move to the front. So the Dream Plan Do. So let's go ahead and pull that up. And we need our 5x7 hoop that has sticky wash away in the hoop. So what we've got there, again, you want that sticky in there. This is what is called for in the instructions. If you don't have that, you could use the standard wash away. Excuse me. In the video, I did use, what did I use? I used Bad Master in the video that I did. So you certainly can. Lots of tape, and you'll want to hold that as it gets started if that's the case. But sticky is, of course, easier because it holds everything in place.
That's right.
That's kind of the easy portion of that. So let's go ahead and
we start with the first part of the design, correct?
so you are going to,
placement
yeah.
for us?
So
Okay.
let's go ahead and get that camera up to show. We're going to need to switch cameras.
Perfect.
Yep, that one, and swap.
Okay.
So you can see this. It's going to stitch where to place the folio. My bad. Still learning.
And we're on section D.
So if you are following along in the instructions, you'll see that we're actually kind of rotated to the side. So we are going to be stitching here, and we need to be going this way. So what we need to do is we need to take the folio and literally fold it back this direction. And you're going to want to get this corner here in the corner in your hoop. So let's go ahead and slide that out of the machine so that you have nice, easy access. All right. And
Do you want to put that under the
yeah, I
camera?
can do that. Let's give you these before I lose them again, because I seem to be getting really good at that. All right. So you guys can see very, very little of that stitch line on there. But what I've got here is D and E, and I have my elastic portion here. So I am folded. This is literally the outside, and that's where I'm stitching. I'm going to fold E back on itself onto D. So the elastic is going to be folded to the inside. I want to make sure that I have that nice straight line here. Give myself a nice crease and line up the bottom here. That fold there is going to go right in to this placement line here. Once you have that, you're going to push that in so that it sticks, and then you can go ahead and open that up. So we're going to be stitching right there in what is going to be the front. In the directions, if you read them, they then have you flip that over and check to make sure that you are lined up right on that placement line. Once you are comfortable with your position, you're going to go ahead and put that back in the machine and start stitching. Yes, we're gonna clip that here in a second. And I'm moving everything.
The folio is really stiff, so you might have some difficulties getting it to stay in. Can I help?
All right, so I actually, I did change the bobbin out to a standard embroidery bobbin. And I personally left that same dark teal in for my dream. You certainly can do whatever the hey you want. It's up to you guys.
Okay, so she's got that rolled up, and you can see that in the corner, and it's
I'm just trying to keep it from getting stitched anywhere.
Right.
So it's going to literally stitch like right in here. So I know that our camera angle for this isn't the fantastic angle of all, but and I am going to try to push that down as it's going so that it stays put. We're still on that line. All right. Double check after maneuvering all of that into the machine that you're still lined up before you start stitching. Are you good with the teal for that?
I am good with the teal.
All right, so we're going to go ahead. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you the placement line for your mylar. And again, I am literally pushing, because that's so stiff, I am pushing that the folio down so that it stays flat so that we get a nice placement line. Trying to stay out of the camera there, but I don't know how well I'm doing.
So maybe if you had a wider hoop and you put this in your hoop and you slid it towards the right hand side,
it would be a little bit easier.
Then you would get a little bit more of your folio laying flat, and it might be just a little bit easier. So if you are watching this and you're thinking, I don't want to have to deal with that. Like that. For those of you who have some wider hoops, like
so can I just say, imagine doing this without sticky?
Right.
So I had this whole side taped and I'm like pushing. It worked. I mean, I just held it the same way as I'm holding it now.
Right.
But it definitely had a little bit more. The more you work with this, the softer it gets. Becomes, yeah. You know, the more you bend it and moosh it around, the more it gives, if you will. But
the thing with the sticky stabilizers is that sometimes it really does gum up your needle, and you might start getting some thread shredding. So I did start this project with a fresh needle, and we have really only used the wash away sticky for this particular part. But after each of these sections, you might actually want to take some rubbing alcohol on a little Q-tip and clean the needle off just to keep it so that it doesn't get sticky.
So there was a couple little jumps to get those centers. They're not going to show a whole lot, but I'm slightly anal about that, and I'm pretty sure Sarah is too. So I'm going to remove those. It tells you in the instructions to remove them later, but not in the placement line.
Right.
Which I find interesting.
Interesting. Yes. Mylar.
Mylar. So this is one of those things that I actually taped because of where it's at. And Mylar does, it's slippery. It likes to shift.
I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little for them.
Then I will move out of the way a little.
A little bit better.
If you're going to be over there, I'll scooch into your space. So I am actually taping. I know you guys are all at home now. You guys have the Home Alone face going, oh my gosh. And so I've got that taped so it's nice and taut across the top. And then again, I stayed with this same color for the whole word dream. I did not change it. So at this point, it's just going to tack that down. So it's just going to go across that whole bit. That edge of that folio is right in your way, I know.
They got a little bit better view now.
Okay. Laying your way down.
Hi. No, you're not at all. You know what? I got to be over here anyways, so it's all good. We got lots of space.
Rub my shoulder. No, I'm just kidding.
Want a massage here?
As long as you're there.
I might as well be going to Vivi's, right?
Be very, very productive while you're there, please. Here's a short knife. You had one of those too. It's been a week for that, I guess.
I feel like it takes longer and longer to recover from those long nights or short nights, long days. I did not drink enough water that day as well, and I've been drinking a lot more water. Your
body is telling you, huh?
Realize how that affects your thinking.
Everything.
Being a little dehydrated really does make a difference.
Dehydration, absolutely.
It's really cute though.
Yes. It is amazing how much shinier that thread looks when it's stitched on my Mylar. Like a whole different color.
Right? It's almost like we used metallic in there.
It's crazy, isn't it? All right. So now we have the fill stitches. I found it interesting they didn't do that all in one shot, but I suppose it's possible to change thread colors.
Sure.
So I stayed the same. Do you want to stay the same?
The same.
All right. So we're going to do the decorative fill stitches. So it's literally going to fill those in. There are a couple of jumps though that I need to get rid of. So, and this is where it actually says in the instructions to trim those. So on the R and on the A, where it jumps to get into that center, you're going to want to trim those little jumps. Otherwise they'll blend into the fill, to be honest, but especially if you're changing thread colors, definitely make sure you trim those. So
you can really see the quilting on the corner now. Yeah. So pretty. Right? So we'll let that stitch a minute, and then so how has anybody done any of your Bella? Are you guys all waiting for us, or did anybody get ahead? And I know some people, the Kimberbell and Bella's Facebook group has been very busy, so I was just curious where everybody else is. Can't believe we had the grand technical failure today. I shouldn't be surprised. We're gonna
keep trying new things. It's bound to happen, and that's
we need
the whole
a production engineer.
We do. We need somebody to handle all that stuff for us.
Yeah. I think
put that boy to work.
He's got enough hats, right? The last thing he wants is one more.
I think he could totally handle that, though. I think he'd be really good at that.
Yes. He's good at giving direction.
You are not wrong. It's amazing how he's really good at telling us what to do.
He is.
Subtly.
Yes.
Without actually
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's very good at it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
time is it?
Yeah. Your mom's waiting for our tips.
Trim the jump stitches.
Yeah. Shirley and Sue, they're all waiting for us too. Well, we knew that this video was going to end up being a little bit hodgepodgey because of how involved this is. So, as I mentioned before, Lisa was gracious enough to actually videotape all of the different pieces and parts. So you're kind of getting the cliff notes here this afternoon or this morning, and then we're gonna post those videos onto our YouTube channel. They will not go on to Facebook, so you'll have to go to YouTube to find them. But they will be there. All right, let's switch over.
So let's switch to that one, and I'm gonna pop this out. If you will, yep, that's the one.
Yep.
All right, so
I'm pushing your buttons today.
pushing my buttons. All right, so while I'm over here, I'm gonna snag a drink since I'm not blocking a camera to do it. We have been talking a lot in the last couple of weeks.
Hi, Dad.
And my throat has just been letting me know it. Ooh.
And it is storming like crazy out.
It really is. All right. So one additional tip and trick and thing that you wouldn't have heard because the darn video, me tipping out of my chair, my watch thinks I did a little exercise. So it's proud of me. And it's one of the things that I saw online that they recommend is on raw edge applique, if you're not a big fan because you don't like that frayed look, is to use a little bit of fray stop before you cut to kind of keep everything in place so that your edges don't fray. So that is something that I mentioned in the video that you couldn't hear and didn't end up seeing. So that is one of those things. One of the things when I do Mylar, don't just rip haphazardly. I definitely recommend pulling down, so towards the centers of whatever. So you can see that it's going into the areas. Maybe you can't because I'm a little too far away, but go from both sides. So if you pull up from the bottom and then down from the top, and then come in from all different directions, you're much more likely to get all of the excess or most of the excess out on its own versus having to go back and fuss with it. Any parts that you didn't get, just take 8 tweezers. These are the precision points. These are my favorite. I really, if they aren't one of these, they aren't in my sewing room. If I had them, they're somewhere else. So grab hold of whatever and then pull those out. Mylar does tend to have static cling, so it'll probably stick to you. But just pull in to whatever centers. Make sure that you get that all out. The next step is going to do like a little satin stitch around those rims. So you want to make sure that it's not going to lock in any pieces. Don't forget those centers. So those precision points can kind of pick up and pull out your little bits that are in those middles. So literally just kind of do that and pinch and it will pull those out. And if you can get a spot up, you can then also pull. Sometimes that takes the whole piece and sometimes it did what it just happened and it decides to come out in pieces, but that's okay. Tweezers will get out the rest. So definitely your friend. And I was madly running around here. I'm like, I need tweezers. I need snips. So make sure that you get all of those little random little bits. Just like,
got it?
Yep. There's a little something right there that needs to come out. And then Mylar can look different if you look at it from another angle. So literally, I know it sounds silly, turn your head and look at it so that the light hits it somewhere else and make sure that you didn't leave little pieces. The little bits in the corners, you might not see it unless you turn your head so the light hits it from a different angle. There's a whole chunk here in the R that I didn't see was there. So, can happen anyway. So just make sure that you get all of those little bits, because once that satin stitch goes on, you're not going to get it back out. So that's my little tips. So anyway, there you go for that little guy. And so now we're going to go ahead and do that.
My watch just said severe thunderstorm in your area.
Thanks.
It's just a tad bit late.
Well, late. All right. So that is my suggestions for your Mylar. And now we're just going to do that outline. Again, I did the entire thing in the same color. You good?
Yep.
All right. So we're just going to go ahead and hit go. And she's got that camera back on there. So I'm just going to try to stay out and not be Italian for a few minutes. Keep my hands to myself. Hi, Dad. Pretty much guarantee my dad is not awake.
No?
No, he's not in, doesn't work. He doesn't get up.
Yeah.
Unless he has somewhere he has to go.
I can get that. I
like
not.
your frames.
Thank you. I did not used to be a morning person. It's a new thing for me. But
that got droned out of me when I had to be at work at 4 a.m.
yeah.
And after I didn't have to be at work at 4 a.m., it was no. As late as I can sleep.
Yeah.
But I definitely am getting more like a day off and whatever. I feel like I've wasted my day if I sleep in.
Yeah.
But I know my mom's probably got the Home Alone face, like what? But I definitely prize my sleep. So Caitlin had a doctor's appointment just for the physical, renew prescriptions,
Yeah.
yada 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 yesterday, and it was at 9:30 in the morning, and the doctor's like, so what are you gonna do? She's like, I've been sleeping in. Oh yeah, like 10. No, I get up at like 1. And the doctor's like, oh, so how'd you get here? She's like, yeah, I can't believe my mom made the appointment this early. So we got home, we got breakfast, and I had to go to the bank. Our generator's being installed in this.
Poor guys. Timing is everything, right? Hopefully they don't run out of power.
No kidding. No kidding. So we had to get the money to pay them.
Yeah.
So I had to go to the bank, and she's sitting in the car, just like half asleep. As soon as we got home, she walked straight upstairs and went back to sleep.
Oh, I see some of you guys are buying the tiles.
Yes.
The flashes are coming through on the screen.
It's pinging on the screen.
My watch.
A little piece of Mylar hopping around. It's loose, but it's still floating around in there. I'm not sure where it's going to get tacked down.
So what's next after green?
So once this is done, we are going to stitch the word plan.
Okay.
So I did that in a slightly lighter but still teal, and I did it in actually a Floriani color. It was a shiny color.
I want mine in
You want yours in pink.
Yes.
This is my shaft face.
I know.
So yeah, I randomly grabbed things last night. It was just like, this'll work.
Yeah, I was laughing when I was telling Hayden at the end of the day, as I was like plugging in everything and then like praying that it worked, I said, if you believe in the other side, they're upstairs just laughing hysterically at the fact that I'm the one that's plugging in all this stuff, because I'm the one who like literally walks into the room and everything stops working. So I was like, oh yeah, that was too funny. So, Tanya,
How are you people buying tiles? I don't see where you can order stuff.
So, Tanya, we have a website. So if you go to LaBooSewingCenter.com,
Shop with Laboo.
and then on the left-hand corner of that, there is a spot that says Shop with Laboo. When you click that, you get a big picture in the middle of your screen that says, like, click here. So when you go there on our actual website where you can buy stuff, the tiles are under the Kimberbell section in the upcoming. So what's
like pre-order
new and pre-orders.
Mhm.
Yep. And you can pre-order those right there. Like I said at the beginning, and I know some of you missed, they aren't actually coming out until September.
It's going to be a little bit yet.
Yes, but if you want to get your hands on them as soon as they come, then you would want to go ahead and do that. And I know, Tanya, you're in Canada, and I'm not sure if our website is going to let you check out, but I don't know if I have international shipping selected on there. But if you wanted to select the option to pick up in store, so that you
we'll
could go
figure it
ahead,
out. Yep.
then we could go ahead and make sure that we get that over to you. So that is not a problem at all.
Yep.
And we'll remember to get that squared away for you. So,
And we have Laboos on the like the pre-order setup with Kimberbell, so we get everything right away.
Yep.
So, and basically, if you guys pre-order, we'll know how many to pre-order. So, you know, we have a blanket number that we automatically get.
Yep.
It's on auto ship, but we can up that number. So, by you guys telling us that you want them ahead of time, see, there's my hand going.
Yeah.
Sorry. By you guys telling us ahead of time that you want them, we can up our pre-order number and we'll get them ahead instead of having to wait after the fact.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So we have that all stitched. So the next thing that's popping up is that word plan, and she wants pink.
I want pink. I know it's not a surprise, guys. Oh, this is a stretch. There we go.
Ding, ding, ding. All right. So this is literally just straight embroidery. So we're just going to hit go and let it do its thing. It's just a couple minutes stitch out. It's a really pretty big satin stitch. So, yeah.
I've got, again, more than one mouse over here. So while this is stitching, I'm going to flip over to us for just a second. Well, I can just barely see us over there. So Marilyn asked, do you think the tiles will be useful, or is it just the quilting designs that are the big attraction? So the truth is that I think that both of them are appealing to a vast majority of people. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is to find the center of your block, or find the center of the particular hoop style, right, that you're using. These are going to help you do that. So even if you can find that stuff easy, you know, rulers and templates, they make things 100 times faster.
Absolutely.
So being
it's
able,
all about the tools.
It is. So being able to plop something down that is perfect every time means that each time you use that particular tile, your design is going to be proportionately centered in that particular thing. So we have certainly not seen a close-up of any of the designs, just little snippets. But they're Kimberbell designs, so I'm 100% sure that they're going to be
cute.
They're going to be super cute. They're going to be Kimberbell cute. So,
yep.
You know, if maybe Lisa and I would not find the tiling pieces to be as beneficial as they could because we have a machine with a projector and a camera. But I also have more than one machine. You have more than one machine. And there are many times when I'm working on a project that I am using both of my machines.
At the same
and
time.
So if,
yeah.
and I don't have I have two fancy machines, but not two fancy machines with cameras and scanners, right? So I could be working on one and then marking another one to get myself prepped.
Yeah,
so,
you know, especially at like Christmas or holidays or gift giving or whatever.
That's right.
I've got both machines running. So,
exactly.
you know, and my second machine doesn't have as large of a hoop, and it certainly doesn't have all the bells and whistles as my main machine, but I certainly, it's got a beautiful stitch, and I make sure that it's working.
Right.
So, I would definitely use it because I don't have all of those things on the other machine. If I remember right, it's the essentials kit is $129.95.
Yes.
And then there is a add-on. I forget what it's called, a bonus something or other. But
Yeah.
there's an add-on piece for the larger hoop sizes.
And that was $29.99.
I think that was more. No, I don't know. There's an add-on one that's a little bit more to that piece. She's gonna see if she can find it. But anyways, there's the two different pieces. But the main one, you need the main one. You can't get the second one and have it do you any good, is my understanding, without the main. So you still need to buy the essential set regardless of whether you want the other one or not.
Only the templates for the bigger hoops. There's no designs. I don't believe in the second
So
one.
it doesn't do you any good to get the second one without getting the first one. So I mean, it's very clearly written in the description that the second one is it's not any good to you without the first.
Right.
So
Right.
So the next thing is going to be the placement line for our gold leather. There is a matching thread in the little thread kit if you want to pull it in there. It is this one, I believe.
Okay.
You want to double check just to make sure before we slap that on your.
That looks fantastic.
Okay.
All right. So there's that.
We're
We're going to thread this bad boy up. Maybe.
probably going to need that one again, I'm guessing.
Okay.
All right, so all this is going to be again is the placement line for where to put the leather. So that's just a D and an O. When we are doing the leather, it is a little bit
$39.99.
okay.
$129.99 and $39.99.
So those are the two options. Again, you'd need the essentials set and the expansion.
The expansion set, that is what it's called. Yes.
I couldn't remember that word to save my life this
Right.
morning. So,
Yep.
The trimming of this leather is a little bit different because there's the inside. A lot of times we don't have that with leather. We're just working on the outside. So it was a little bit challenging, I guess.
Right.
So you'll probably need some sharp snips to snag the middle. And we're going to completely cover that up and go ahead and tack that down. And
Again, you can tape it if you want.
you can tape. I'm not gonna. And then there is a little jump stitch to get to the center of both the O and the D. I thought I was being really careful. I actually scratched my leather just a little bit. I didn't think that it was going to scratch that easy. So be careful when you're doing that. I wasn't being that careful. I didn't think that it was going to mar that simply. So just be careful when you're trimming that out. I might leave yours alone and you can do it.
Okay. So if I scratch it, it's
So
my
if you
fault.
scratch it, it's your fault. Yeah, but just be careful when you go to trim that. It did scratch a little bit. I think you'd have to look for it to actually see it.
Right.
But you know me, I'm
Right.
kind of picky.
So if you if you did the outside, trimmed around the outside of the D and the O, and then just trimmed on the inside of the O while it's in the hoop,
You
could
could
get
continue
away
on.
with that. Yeah,
and
and then you
continue
could
on.
do the rest of
Yep.
the trimming when you get it outside of your hoop, which might be a little bit
But
easier
you do
for
need to trim the
inside.
inside of the O because
Mhm.
they put a flower over it.
They
So you want to swap.
I am.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
All right. And I will try to do this way over there.
So C&D asked, no special needed for the leather stitching. No, we're using a traditional machine embroidery needle. So actually the ones that I'm using in the machine right now are the Class A versions. So I know it's tiny on my screen over here, but I'm using the Class A 7511 embroidery needles. These are great needles. They do come 6 in a pack, which makes me feel like I'm getting a little bit of a bargain for the price. versus the Schmetz needles. And I have just as good success with these needles as I do with the Schmetz needles. So we do have them, we should have them both up on the website as well so that you can purchase them. And so while Lisa is trimming that, I just want to mention, I'm not going to talk about the coupon code on live here, but I want anybody who purchased a machine from us to know that we do have an online coupon code for you to use, so that if you are purchasing some of those things online that you were normally getting in the store at your discount, if you email us that or ask us next time you're in the store, we would be happy to give you that. That coupon code is good for you, and they are attached to your name, so it isn't a shareable option for you. But it does give you that Savings Club price point that you are used to getting for your Brother and your Baby Lock branded items in the store, and for your thread and stabilizer. So just wanted to put that out there for you. We're kind of, working through their website right now and getting all of these things situated. And if you didn't already know that, one of the perks of purchasing your machine from us is becoming a member of that Savers Club there. So if you're looking at the prices of the stuff online, you would get 20% off threads, stabilizers, Brother and Baby Lock branded feet, hoops, accessories, and things like that. So that's part of our thank you for purchasing from us little shtick. And like I said, we are doing that. We are constantly adding this stuff to the website, so there's new stuff all the time. Of course, we don't want to discourage you from coming into the shop, because we love to see you here too, but we do know that sometimes you might be someplace and it might not be convenient to get here,
Or it could be pouring out.
It could be pouring out and you would like to get it, and or maybe you're just feeling a little you need some retail therapy and it's easier to do in your pajamas when you are chilling out in bed and Netflixing and chilling or something like that. You could do multitasking. So we have a phenomenal thread sale starting the 21st. Is that it? Next week? No.
Next week, but the 21st is this Wednesday. So
that's
19th.
not it.
No, it's the
Monday.
last week of the month.
The thread sale?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that was the Bag Lady sale.
That's both of them.
Okay, so the last week of the month is our thread sale and our Bag Lady sale. So you should have received some information about the thread sale, and in our newsletter, if you are signed up to be getting that, we are going to have 35% off of the thread. Individual spools of thread. We carry we do not carry isocord. We carry Dime Exquisite. We carry Floriani. We have metallic thread. We have the Presencia thread that we love. That is the sewing thread. All kinds of different things. You can see she's getting there here.
So here is the middle. So the only way to get in there is to stab it and snip. So literally take, I'm going to make sure that I'm on a flat surface so I don't stab all the way through. Be careful not to cut the folio. I've got my 6-inch double curves here. I'm going to stab and snip so that I can get it started. And then I need to get you can see maybe that I've got my tip in there, and I'm going to go towards an edge, and then I'm going to work my way around. I just wanted to say that out loud.
Yes,
so that you
makes
guys could
perfect
see
sense.
what I was doing.
Bag Lady gals, your sale is always the last full week of the month. You will not get any information until the week before. So it is coming. You haven't missed it. But like clockwork, it will be the last full week of the month, and you will receive that email the week before. So look for it next week.
Yeah, I think it's scheduled to go out the 21st.
Maybe that's why I have the 21st on my brain.
Yeah.
Something's coming on the 21st.
Yeah, the email to tell you what's happening is on
That's
the 21st.
right. The email for your Bag Ladies is coming next month. Next Monday. This coming Monday. I can find my words. But the thread sale and the Bag Lady sale are separate. So you do not
Have to be a bag lady to partake.
You do not have to be a bag lady to partake in the thread sale. You do not have to be a member of our savings club. If you haven't purchased a machine from us, that's okay. You can still take advantage of that thread. So we fully expect to run out of some of the threads, and we are going to let the website oversell the threads. Please know that if you buy on the first couple of days, you're probably going to get all of your thread right away. If you buy a little bit later than that, I do expect that we could possibly be out of some of the thread. We will be reordering those and filling those. That's perfect. Just to let you know. So it might take a bit, but we will certainly pop you an email and let you know what is going on to keep you in the know.
So the way that the website is set up for that thread sale is the discount will automatically be applied. When you put it in the cart, you don't have to have a coupon code or anything. So for the dates that it is on sale, it will automatically go at the sale price in your cart. You don't have to remember the coupon code. You don't have to do anything. So for those of you who aren't, tech savvy or are on our email list or whatever, it doesn't matter. You don't have to know anything to make that happen. You just start shopping and it will all happen magically. All right. So this is going to be some cute little flower buds that are going to come up underneath the, I'm going to reach across. I'm sorry. There's my hair. That's what the back of my head looks like. Look at that. So it's going to be these little buds over here.
Okay.
I did mine in orange that balanced that out, but you could do whatever you would like.
I think mine should be purple.
You should be purple. Of course you should be purple. So she's going to thread that up and then we're going to hit go.
Ding,
I love
ding.
ding.
I know, right?
It's just great. Makes your day. What?
Oh.
Do I want to know?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Just follow it up with making sense. Just let it go. Shh. You're terrible.
You said it.
You thought it.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Look how clean and normal.
yeah, yes, totally. Oh my goodness. It's 1:30. It's 1:30. We've been on this for, it's 1:30, guys. We've been on this for an hour and a half already. Why time flies when you're having fun or technical difficulties?
Yeah, and we're nowhere near done. We only have a half an hour to go. Okay, we've got one more flower bud to do over on the other side. Do you want those purple too, or
Yes,
do you want to
please.
change colors?
No, we'll just have those purple.
We're going to be those purple too. You can change colors if you'd like, because there is a color stop. We're going to need green.
Like green.
So I did mine dark green. This is that green.
Okay.
So
Oh, for the stems?
the stem is going to be next.
Okay.
Is that up there?
Well, we did have some technical difficulties.
All right, so the next thing is going to be the stem for these buds. So we've got a dark green that she's going to thread while I get this purple out of the way. And that will be, I believe, the next two color stops.
Okay.
And then there is some leaves for a different embroidered flower. I did mine in a lighter green, but it doesn't show up really well. So these are the stems that we're doing. Oh, my bad. So these are the stems here. And then this is going to be after that. You can see that they kind of blend in just a little bit.
On this one here, the stems, I did the leaves the same color, and I think they showed up a little nicer. So I would recommend doing a little bit darker green.
Yeah, maybe I'll just keep the same.
Just keep the same. That's what I did the first time. I thought I would try changing it, and then I was like, should have kept it the first way. But you know, you don't know unless you try it.
Right. Best laid plans, right?
Exactly. And then this one is going to be that leaf then. So we're just going to go ahead and hit go one more time. Right? It says that right there.
I know.
You said you did.
I did. Poor people watching this video.
I know.
That don't know what we're actually talking about.
They're like, why are they giggling?
Right? Is this sewing porn?
Unfortunately, yes, it is. All right. So once we have this, we are going to do an applique flower, I believe. So
Where is my flower?
you've got the fabrics over there. So I believe we're going to come over here. So that little guy, right, that light blue is going to match that one.
Perfect.
So,
Obviously, Lisa did her homework.
what are we doing? We are going to stitch the placement line for the little bit larger applique flower. It does help when you've actually made the project. Because if you noticed, we're not actually reading the instructions. We're just doing it. All right. So I'm going to give you those back.
Okay.
All right. So this is, again, another raw edge applique. That was the previous.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm
so
up to date.
I wasn't even looking. I'm paying attention to what's down here. You pay attention to what's up there.
Can do.
All right. So we've completely covered up that placement line, and now we're just going to go ahead and tack that. Of course, as always, you can tape if you were more comfortable. These are kind of a bean stitch, so there's a lot of stitching going on. It kind of looks puckery, but it actually isn't.
So I did not starch this piece, and I probably would recommend that
normal
you do
times.
that. Yeah. Best press that bad boy so that it's a little stiffer.
So it looks puckery here, but
it's not on the inside.
So it kind of looks like it's gonna be, but it's not. So before we trim, we're gonna want to stitch that center piece. I did mine in white for this. So whatever color you would like, if you want yours to be yellow or whatever, or pink, knowing you.
I think yellow would be cute.
So before you trim, so just in case there's some pulling, you want to make sure that you stitch that before you do any trimming. That is one of the things I really do like about the way they digitize is they have you do all of that stitching beforehand.
Yeah, it really does help.
It really does make a
There's
difference.
nothing worse than having your applique piece
Pull out of those outside stitches.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very frustrating.
I know. I was just thinking, it's like.
Very inappropriate.
Totally. If taken out of context. Absolutely.
Doesn't mean we have to make a point of it.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
All right. So we have another trimming point. But honestly, there is nothing else going to be trimmed over here. So, or stitched. I'm just going to leave it so we can continue on.
Perfect.
So this is going to be an orange flower. So let's go ahead and get that really pretty orange thread, which is right.
I don't think this is the right orange. Is it? Wasn't it supposed to be like that? Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was thinking it was the printed one, but that must be
No, that's the other one
All
that
right.
we tried showing a video of.
That was fail.
That was the big fail of the day.
Oh, goodness. I love technology. Remember when I said how much? That's just so... I'm totally sure it's me.
Well,
Too close to the sun here.
I think. All right, so we have a nice. This is a Floriani color that I found. I think it looks really pretty with this. These are the silky solids that are in that little charm pack. Almost all of the fabrics that are used in here are from that silky solids. There are other fabrics in there, but there's only one print in all of these. So we're going to completely cover that little guy up. And then we're going to tack that little guy down. And unfortunately, we are going to need to trim this one. Okay. So we're going to have a flower here and here. It's going to be embroidered. So I have mine yellow and red. Yellow up there, that kind of orangey red at the bottom. And then I had alternating red and yellow centers. If you want to pick your colors while I figure that, what color center would you like? I had mine white.
I'm gonna do teal. Doesn't everybody have a teal center?
Everybody has a teal center in their orange flowers, so why not?
I like this color.
I do too. It's actually one of my favorite colors. It's really pretty.
My flowers don't have to look realistic.
Why should they?
Right?
All right, so again, we're going to stitch the center. I am going to need to trim this because there's an embroidered flower right next to that one.
Or at least that one corner.
At least that side of it, yep. I'll do that real quick while she's picking out her red colors. So we have 2 embroidered flowers, and then this little guy is all done. All right. Oop, I moved before the camera got moved.
So sorry.
I was faster than the camera person. All right, that should work. Kind of cheating here, but
It's all right. It's all good.
not quite the movie magic we sometimes have, but you know. So that is going to be the top one.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
It's all good. Lots of padding there.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go with teal. Because I got purple leaves.
I just saw it sitting there. That's why I thought that.
Yeah. No, I think this one.
In your center.
So many choices.
Yellow.
Yellow. It is pouring out there. It's crazy. I really feel like I could thread this machine with my eyes closed.
I know I could because I think I did a couple of times last night. There was a few. Is the center of this also going to be yellow?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so one last embroidered flower and center, and then we will move on to the next section, which is going to be the E flap, which is all embroidery. And actually, it's a pretty quick little guy. We are going to do that on our next 5x7 hoop. And nope, the other one. Yep. So Like we said, we're just kind of showing you guys some other ways that you can so we've got a 5x7 magnetic hoop that has Badge Master in it, and we will be taping our piece in place again, and then go ahead and starting the embroidery on that one. So that one's going to give us a placement line again, just like this one did. But this one doesn't have quite as many areas that we could tape. So this one definitely is a little bit easier to use the sticky on. So one last thread change here. We're going to put the yellow in to do the center of that flower. And then we will be all set with this.
Got it?
Yep. I even hit the trash can.
Woohoo! I haven't.
Select bonus. Oops, I hit the wrong button though.
It's double threaded.
It's double threaded. Just double checking. All right, so that then completes this little guy. I am going to pop that out of the hoop and remove the excess stabilizer while she sets up the next design. There's really nothing fancy about seeing that. So we'll just leave the camera where it's at. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I heard you. I just didn't process. I was too busy pushing the wrong button.
Easy to do.
And this one is something magic.
Mark.
Yep. That one. Got it. All right. Can I put the hoop in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can even stitch the first little guy.
All right. So I am going to flop the camera over here just so you know. All right. It's there. So I have the 5x7 magnetic hoop in, and we are going to go ahead and we are going to stitch the first stitch out, which is going to tell us where to put the design. And then I'm going to hand the hoop over to Lisa.
Nope.
And you don't want to do it over there?
Might be able to. We'll see. I think
Okay.
it backs up a little bit.
All right.
I don't know. It was late.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this elastic out of
Out
the
of the
way.
way. Yep.
So you want to rip off a couple pieces of tape?
Sure. Where's the tape?
It's right
Here
above
it
there.
is. All right, so we'll show you what it looks like
Oh,
all
I
taped
can do
in,
that. Would that be better?
in place. They can't see that
Yeah.
because I can't put the camera over because it's just the back of your head.
Like I said, this is just
It's got you nervous.
I can do it.
Okay.
All right. When I did that at home, I'm not exaggerating. Just gunk. I have no idea what it was.
Yeah.
All right, so that was mine. This is hers. So here's our beautiful hoop, and you can actually see it because it's yellow this time around instead of teal, and it blended right in. So that matches. Look at that. Amazing, isn't it? We're going to literally put that right on that line. And then since we're not using sticky, we are going to take the living daylights out of it and make sure that we stay on that line. One more.
Big, little.
Little. Just going to get that corner.
Okay.
So the only thing that this sometimes does is it will push up a little bit. So before we start stitching, we're going to just hold that corner down. So if you see my finger in there later on, that's what I'm doing, is making sure that it's not pushing forward as it starts to stitch.
Want me to hold that?
Just sometimes they don't slide as well. I wanted to make sure we
I
didn't
know, right?
align ourselves. So
Here we go.
this little bit of wiggle is what I'm talking about. So I'm doing it to make sure that's nice and flat. And so when that starts, I'm just going to hold stitching here. As soon as it starts tacking itself down, I don't have to worry about that. It's going to go into position.
All right.
So the first color that's going to stitch are the scrolls. I'm going to cross in front again. I apologize. I'm just going to grab mine so you guys can see something already stitched. So this right here is what we're going to stitch. I did mine in red. You can do whatever color you want. And look at that. Shockingly, she's going to do a variegated purple. Because whoa,
Because I can.
because she can. There was my head again. I'm sorry. I needed a drink. I didn't bring enough to drink today. All right. So we are stitching on the outs. What are we on? Yep, we're on the outside of E. It is the angled piece. We've stitched the placement line. If you're using sticky, it's just going to slap it on there and stick it in place. Mm-hmm. If you are not, make sure that you are hanging on to that just for the moment to make sure that it stays where you want it to be. All right. I have clipped with a Wonder Clip my elastic up out of the way to the front cover.
It's not showing up very well. It's okay.
You want to change? We can go right on top of it.
Sure.
All right. So we're going to start that over.
Because it didn't work. I mean, it did work, but you can't
it got
see it.
to a light color where it didn't show.
Let's do dark teal.
So I did dark teal on my letters.
Did you? I think I'm going to do my letters in purple.
Okay. All right, so we just backed up to the beginning of that, and we're just going to stitch right on top of those purple, and then some colors you can't barely see.
I wonder if the topper would help on some of these little stitches, make them pop out a little bit more. Because they really pop out on the with the wash
quilting.
away on the back.
Yeah. Want to do them again?
No. No, I'm just wondering, like, because even though we can see them, they don't really pop.
All right, so now that those are there, that's kind of almost the top and the bottom. I'm going to let go because it's pretty much going to stay in place. So at this point, we've got some decorative scrolly things here. So if you look, I have gold. I actually put metallic gold in because I could. So I don't know what she wants. She's going to do pink.
I'm going to do pink.
She's going to do pink. So there you go. And I almost said, yeah, she's even doing it left-handed, but of course you are. All right, so there's a couple different sections here. There's little decorative pieces here that are underneath that bottom scroll. And then there are what they call sparkle, which are just little extra, they're like stars that aren't quite full stars. And then there's the actual stars. And then there's the words. So they are all different color stops. You can do whatever you want. You want them all pink? She's going to go with them all being pink. So no more color stop changing anyways until we get to the words. Yes. In which case those are going to be purple. Because she can. Like that. So there are some jump stitches. They kind of look a little different until you trim the jump stitches. They kind of look like, what the heck just stitched until you trim the jumps out. But they look pretty good otherwise. So it is a downpour.
I feel sorry for Dave today outside of this.
I feel sorry for the guys installing stuff at my house.
True that.
Bet you they're regretting
Today.
oh.
Is there an extra charge for wet dog?
Right. Yeah, so after I cleaned it all up, I took the trash bag because it was smelly. And
Yeah.
took it out to the garage and replayed it. And I had it Thursday. I was just like, I love my dogs. I love my dogs. It was just like, oh Lord. So then I sent Jeff a message. It's like,
A creepy stuff you come in.
I'm like, be warned. I don't know what you're gonna come home to. So this turned out so cute, though. It really is a really, really cute design. It is a little time intensive.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit going on here, but I really like it. I stopped at CVS yesterday and I got a composition notebook and a 21, 22 July through whatever day, I don't remember if it was December or
Yeah.
July calendar that are, the calendar was almost exactly, it was slightly shorter. So I thought I would attempt to do something for Samantha
Yeah.
and send it to her. So, gonna
She says you can always count on the rain for the Ann Arbor Art Fair. True
Right?
that, right? Poor people.
no doubt.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
All right.
I can't remember the last time I was at the Ann Arbor Art Fair. I mean, oh yeah, actually I can. It was like the second year of the back-to-back Pistons win. What was that, in the 80s?
That was a hot second ago. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's the last time I was at the Ann Arbor Art Fair. And that was the first time I'd ever eaten lamb in like a gyro, right? So,
Did you like it?
I did. And I think the only reason I liked it is because when I ordered it, the people didn't tell me what it was. So, because I probably would have been like, no, I
I'm
don't
not
know
even,
if I would have tried it.
would have tried it.
Yeah, because I'm definitely funny about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was how long ago that was. That was,
Wow.
yeah, and I remember the repeat, the 2-time thing
Yeah.
everywhere over at the art fair. Oh. I just aged myself. I was a kid.
Just throw that in there. I was
Yeah.
a kid, but yes.
I was a kid. I was in junior high.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember the last time I was there. It's probably been at least 10 years, but I don't know. It's been a long time. It's just the weather is always miserable. Whether it's raining or it's 95 and so hot, it just doesn't matter what. It's just miserable.
I don't remember it being hot and miserable when I was a kid, and I don't think that hot and miserable bothered me as much when I was like 12. I think there was ice cream and bribes involved, so it was okay. I don't think ice cream and bribes would work these days. It certainly wouldn't get me out in the rain.
No. No, it would not. No. But, yeah, so, gotta love it.
Yeah. So next we have
The
The
pocket. So, it's actually, a pretty quick piece. Thank goodness, because we're about out of time here.
is this the right?
No, that was the one we didn't stitch.
So that's it, right?
That's the
okay.
pocket.
I was like, I only have one more book over here. So we're obviously gonna run a little over,
We are gonna run a little over.
but not too much. We're so sorry. A bunch of you are still hanging in with us. I'm
Yeah.
totally impressed.
We,
I don't find myself that interesting, so I I would have like bailed a long time ago. I'll fast forward this later.
So Sarah and I have been playing with, well, how can we make another one of these without buying a full, how can we play with it and create something? So we actually bought some felts to play with and whatnot. So we're contemplating putting felt and cork together and making something. So that's kind of the. I think that might be the way to go.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Yes.
In our spare time, because we have we have some other
Nothing to
videos
do.
that we need to finish yet this week, and it's Friday.
I know. I did start them.
Yeah, I started mine too, and then my timer ran out, and I didn't realize it, and I was talking to myself. So for those of you who participated in Welcome Home with us, we have started those videos. It's just been an absolutely crazy week, and we are hoping to get them done today, if not tomorrow. So we will give you those promised videos. And I don't know if it holds out like this. We might not be very busy today, so today may actually happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, but holy crow, is it yucky out? So almost there. Almost there. A couple more letters, and then this one is all set. So the vinyl pocket is actually stitched in 2 different hoopings. So if you do not have a 6x10 size hoop, you can, and it does provide the instructions to do so, you can actually just sew it. So you just wouldn't have the decorative stitch, which is like a candle wicking type thing around the outside. Not a big deal, actually.
Unless you have a candle wicking stitch on your machine.
Which you could certainly do. It's just the piecing of it is all kind of done for you instead of having to hold everything, in place.
Yes.
So certainly a little bit easier if done in the hoop. But if you just have that 5x7 machine, by all means, you can still finish that out and make it just like everybody else's. So we're going to hoop a wash away, so the mesh wash away. And we're going to create the pocket itself. So placing the 2 pieces of vinyl and then placing the zipper itself. And then placing the vinyl itself, zipper itself between the 2 pieces of vinyl, and that will stitch in place. Then you basically trim away most of, but not all of that stabilizer, and then you hoop sticky and you place that piece that you made into the folio itself. It's really straightforward. It's very, very few stitches. It's just you have to take that time to get the placement right. That's the big piece that you're doing is taking the time for that placement. So this piece is all set. So I would thread with this, and you're going to want to change out your bobbin.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and have her set up the machine, and I'm going to pass her that hoop while I get this taken apart.
Okay.
So she can get that started for you guys since we're running a little bit over. Right, so there's your hoop.
Okay.
So the first thing is just going to be that placement line. So.
Okay. Okay, so I am threaded and I am changing my bobbin. Do, 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 do. And is it
You want the 2 square
the
one
2 square
first.
one? All right.
So they are both, if you're doing it in the hoop, they are both a 6x10 hooping.
you want the one that has the 2 large rectangles first, and then after that one's done, the single rectangle.
Yep. So I have this in the hoop. You can see it in the little picture here. We're going to go ahead and do the placement line first. Too many buttons.
I guess we probably need those pieces, huh?
Probably.
So I'm just using my body heat here to try to get that big fold out, because this is folded in half in your embellishment kit. So it lays pretty flat, and it will certainly work its way out. Just letting you know that's how I kind of warmed it. So that piece that stitched out is exactly the same size as your your piece that you were to cut out of that. So you're going to cut these 2 rectangles, and then you're also going to have a small piece that's going to be for later. So it's not the entire piece of vinyl that was in your kit for this. You're going to place a piece of tape in the center on each side.
The bobbin is the same as the top thread. Yep, that's what I said. I changed the bobbin and the top thread.
And that is exactly on that stitch line. So once we have that taped in place, we're going to go ahead and tack that down. It is going to be inside this time around that. So it's going to, it is going to stitch through that tape, which, as you guys all know probably by now, it's super easy to rip through those tape. So as soon as that tacks everything in place, we're going to go ahead and remove the tape. So we're going to let that go. It's going to stitch twice. Yep. I get my head right in the camera every time I do that. All right, so the next thing is going to be the same thing on the right. So before we do the final step, we're going to want to make sure all of those pieces of tape are out of the way, but certainly got enough out to continue through this step. All right, so again, that's going to sit exactly inside that line. And then we're going to tape that in place. Just in the centers. And then that's going to do the exact same thing. It's going to go around there twice and tack that in place.
Like bouncy in there.
Right. Okay, there is only one more step in this portion of the stitch out, and that is going to tack the zipper itself down. But like I said, we want to make sure that we get all of that tape out of the hoop, because we don't want it underneath.
it does like to stick to that vinyl.
It does. Really well. I'm sure you guys wish that you had like a third hand like this, right?
Right.
If somebody just, they're like, how is there so many hands? Oh. I got one side. Good job.
It really likes the vinyl.
Good job.
All right, so the last thing that we need to do is to actually place the zipper. So in your instructions, it's going to tell you to lose, there's another piece. Oh, for crying out loud.
Aren't the tweezers?
It's just so sticky. It's going to get stuck under your zipper if I leave it there. Got it. Okay. So you guys all know there's two different ends to a zipper. You want the pull towards you and the stop at the top. All right. And we're going to use this line here as the left line up and this line here as the right. So we're going to start at the top and you're going to tape, make sure that the stop is above the vinyl and literally tip that up. And I'm sorry, I know my hand's in the way, and line up your teeth so that they are centered between those two positions. Once you get that, tape it in place at the top, outside of the vinyl itself, and then literally walk it down. It's the easiest way. If you're super comfortable, you could just yank it, but I walked mine all the way down to make sure that I stayed lined up. Okay, and once you get at the bottom, make sure that you keep it tight, but don't bubble it like I just tried to do. And then tape again outside of the vinyl. So that it stays in position while it's going. And what that last step is going to do is it's going to stitch that in place. It looks like it's out of position. It's too far to the right. It's actually going to stitch in and then back. So it's okay. Don't panic. So this color that we both just love, it matches this vinyl and this zipper perfectly. And again, it is an exquisite color. Emerson Sarah 903. All right. So a little bit different than your average tack down. It's going to stop and then jump over to the other side and then repeat what it just did on the left side. So it kind of looks like you're not lined up right at first because it's like, oh, it's way too far over, but it scoots in and then comes back down.
And that's because it didn't go over the top.
Right.
We didn't move our zipper in the center.
Right.
So if we covered the top and the bottom, then we would have a decorative piece of vinyl with pretty lace and not an actual
zipper. Yep. But it's kind of weird when you first go to line it up. You expect it to stitch where it's going to stay, and it jogs in a little bit. So nothing's wrong. You're all good. All right. So that is the completion of this portion. So I am once again
going to pop this out and I'm going to trim. So what we're going to do is, of course, remove the tape, and then we're going to remove the stabilizer. We need to keep the stabilizer underneath the zipper and underneath the stitches, but remove everything else. So you can either even remove it from underneath the vinyl here, just leave it underneath the zipper itself. Okay. I'm going to hand her the other hoop and she can keep that going. Again, you want a matching bobbin so that this is going to show, because this is going to be stitching on both sides of your folio. So please make sure that you have a matching bobbin in when you do this. All right. And she's going to bring up the other embroidery 6x10 file.
Yes, I am.
Or maybe she is. All right, I'm just going to set that there for you.
All right, perfect. Oh, you okay?
Yeah, just moved too fast. Okay. Now take the tape off. Pop that out of the hoop.
And my first line up on
Is
here
going to be
placement stitch. Okay, so that's what I'm going to work on here. I know you guys don't need to see this, so, but we won't do anything until we actually have this.
So of course, make sure that you don't cut the zipper.
And is this my placement line for my folio?
So that is your folio placement line. You are going to be going, we've done everything else on the back. This is going to be on the inside.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that the pocket itself will be on the inside. This is a sticky that we're using, and I really don't recommend any other type of stabilizer for this. I think you will regret it if you try to do this with anything else.
And then am I going to do the next tack down, because that's going to tell me
Yep,
where to put the project
is
that you're
correct.
working on, right?
Yep, it's
All
going
right.
to be two little T shapes.
I see that. Okay, I'm going to flash back over to Lisa here. So you can see she is getting the stabilizer.
So I just stabbed in there until I could get my scissors in, and then I am just scooching along my stitch line. And then I'm going to repeat that on the other side. All right, so all we have is, again, stabilizer, the zipper, and on the outside stitch lines. Okay, now comes the fun part. So actually, let's do that over here.
Over here? Yep, I was just thinking that might be better.
All right.
The little T's are really hard to see.
They are. So kind of like what we just did before with lining up that zipper, we're going to line that up with the zipper here. So we've got a little T here and we've got a little T there. So this is oversized, okay? And it's supposed to be oversized because it's going to stitch on the inside of everything that we just did. But we want to make sure that we are lined up center-wise where we want to be. So that zipper needs to be where it tells us to. So your zipper teeth need to be on that little tick mark. All right. So
I've got one done. Make sure I'm not hitting anything that way, am I?
Nope.
Okay. And then I'm going to fold that up and make sure that I am on the tick mark that way. So my actual previous stitch line is pretty close to the outside edge of that folio outside edge pocket. So it's pretty close to out there. Can you guys see that? If I fold that back, you can see where those stitch lines are following. It's pretty close to following right on the outside edge of that. Once I have that there, I'm going to place a piece of tape here. And that is going to keep those in position. And that's going to keep my piece from moving this direction in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
We have a squaring stitch, correct?
Yep. So
All
I'm
right.
assuming we have to move our zipper
So,
in, right?
yeah, I don't have my instructions out. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't skipping something.
Nope, I don't think so.
All right. So of course, just like always, I stuck that down and it really is stuck. We need to move our zipper head to the center. All right. And then I'm using the sticky here, but I'm going to tape it as well, just to make sure nothing is shifting as we're stitching. So I'm going to tape outside of my stitch line and make sure that my zipper tape is staying exactly where I wanted it to.
You know, if you were making another one of these and you wanted to do something different, that mesh would be a really good option as a pocket here as well.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
If you didn't want, like
solid.
depending on what you wanted to put in your pocket, you know, if you put something, I don't know, paper clips or anything like that in there, it could poke through your vinyl. So if you wanted to do something else, you could certainly use that mesh.
All right, so the first thing that's going to stitch is just a squaring stitch. It's going to go all the way around. In the instructions, they do recommend, I feel like I'm not straight. There we go. That you raise your embroidery foot. So we are going over, you know, the folio, which is not super thin, plus your zipper teeth and everything. So I did raise my foot, and I think I bumped it to 10. I left my screen open that way so that I remembered to put it back down. Just whenever you change a machine setting, make sure you remember to put it back to whatever is normal so that you don't end up with any issues. So the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and stitch that first piece. It's just going to go around. So it's going to do that square. And then we're going to remove that top piece of tape. Make sure that you have moved your zipper before you do this step.
Otherwise, it's just a really
pretty decorative piece. All right, so before we do the final step, which is just, like I said, a decorative stitch that's going to go around, I need to remove that tape because it's going to be extremely difficult to get that tape out of a decorative stitch. But we needed it there for that squaring stitch to make sure that it didn't wiggle while we were going around. All right, let's put you back in, and we have one final stitch. You are not, I repeat, you are not cutting anything at this time. You have to stitch everything down first.
Okay. So while this is stitching, let's talk about what we have to do to finish it.
Yeah. So base a little bit of sewing, right? Yes. I'm going to grab mine. I'm going to go in front of the thing over here. Okay. So we've got all of these parts, right? So first thing that you're going to need to do is get rid of whatever stabilizer you have used. So if you used all water soluble, you are going to need to douse it and rinse. So depending upon whatever you did, that's step number 1. And then of course let it dry so that it's easily worked with. Right. Once it's dry and ready to go, you are going to take the front. So our dream, plan, do, and we have our don't hide your magic. So your elastic section, all right? The elastic piece needs to come outside, tuck your front piece in, and then take your elastic and go over the top of your embroidered piece, all right? That elastic is going to tuck inside the fold, and you are going to sew then that fold right along the bottom. So it's literally going to go like yay. And you are going to sew from here to here and make that a pocket that elastic piece will be in, and then that elastic can fold over and keep the entire piece closed. Once it's sewn in place, it will be able to be wrapped around. Oh, son of a pumpkin.
We got so close.
So close. I'm sorry.
It happens.
I was really hoping it was going to make it. All right. So we ran out of bobbin thread.
Yes. That's okay. Keep talking.
So
I'll wind a bobbin.
She's going to take care of that part. So the question is can you find another one? Do you want to just get that one? Okay. So that is going to be that front piece. So again, make sure that your elastic comes out, then goes up and over. Tuck it inside the pocket so it is in between the two pieces, and then sew that seam shut there. The back piece, again, make sure all of your stabilizer is removed to your satisfaction, and then this pocket will fold over, and you're going to sew these both, top and bottom, and then that will be where your notebook piece that they provided for you will tuck in. So both pieces, top and bottom, so that will be that pocket. Oops, I'm off camera. Here we go. That pocket there. So you're going to sew both of those closed. This piece here in the center is where if you choose to put it in there, it's going to give it a little bit of shape if you put it in. So that is where that white plastic piece is going to go. In your written instructions, it says to do it says to hot glue it in there. That's pretty permanent. So depending upon Siri's trying to help. So in those instructions, it says to hot glue that. If you don't want that, you did get a little bag of some Velcro. You could put the Velcro on those and then Velcro it in. That would be much less permanent. It wasn't the stickiest Velcro I've ever seen. So it would definitely loosen, but it would tuck in. So when your flap comes up, do you need me to move more?
No, I think that's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like literally just jam that into
It's all good. So this is my zippered pocket. I have it all trimmed. It has not been rinsed yet, so I still don't have a pocket. It's it still is just a really pretty adornment there. But my zipper works because I remembered to put the head in the middle. It's just got stabilizer underneath of it still, so I can't use the pocket as of yet. But what you are once you're done with this, you are going to trim all the way around as close as you are comfortable, and you are going to trim the zipper tape. So the zipper is going to have that little bit of a rough edge, but there is absolutely no
right in there.
Right in there. Yep. Just like she said. So that is going to have that cut. This is just a loose pocket. We're not sewing that into anything. So that is where that white plastic piece with the cute little polka dots is going to be. And then this will fold up over that. So when you close the whole thing, this guy goes in and then this guy goes over and then your elastic will wrap around the whole thing. And that is your complete folio.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! It's like movie magic.
It's movie magic. It's all done just like that.
Yes.
So there isn't anything in here that was super difficult. There was just a lot of steps to completing this. So on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about, if I remember right, it's the tote. So again, the embroidery portion of that is they're pretty straightforward. There's some scissors that we're going to be cutting out of leather. So there'll be some fancy cutting because there'll be, again, insides of the scissor, the finger holes for that. So, you know, again, we'll be having to cut carefully in that, but the embroidery itself is a pretty straightforward embroidery. So next week, Sarah's going to, no, I'm just kidding.
Yes, I'm going to be doing the sewing part, right?
I'm going to pass the buck. No, but so there is a French seam in the instructions to finish the bag. There's making the straps and all of those things. So there's a lot of cutting and measuring and different things like that. So that's going to be the time taker upper next week on Tuesday. So that is where we will start next week. So if you are attempting to sew along with us, make sure that you have cutting space available on Tuesday.
Yes.
Because that is going to be
and
that is going to be the part
tempted to sew along with us today.
Sorry. Well, unfortunately, this is just a lot.
It was, and then we had
just
a little bit
lot.
of that.
So,
hiccup.
And so I do apologize. This video will of course post as soon as we're done here, and then you can watch it from the beginning. And I have 4 of the 5 sections already edited. I will
we'll put them up, and they're named, so you can see like the part of it. So if you missed a part or you have questions about a particular
you can watch
part,
just that section instead of the whole 2-hour video thing.
Right.
So
and a half.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a half.
So sorry.
So hope you guys had a good time this morning.
9 a.m.
And we will start
Tuesday.
9 a.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I think we should be able to do that in 2 hours. That shouldn't run over. Unless we have some technical difficulty on Tuesday. Lord knows it's probably going to be raining Tuesday as well, because that seems to be
the new thing.
The new thing in Michigan right now.
Right? It's like April.
But in July. Absolutely crazy. But thank you for joining us. I apologize that we ran over, and I also apologize for the technical glitch that we had there. We'll get the videos posted. As I said, this one will post immediately when we're done here, and the others will just the amount of time it takes to load. 4 of them are already done. I only have to finish one, and it was a very short one, so it won't take long at all. So give us just a little bit, and all of that will be available to you. You guys have a great one. We'll take care, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.